All right, so we finished off with the ears. We're drawing the shape of the ears. And just to show you all the difference between this period, first period, and third period, it looks similar, but what I want you to notice is the size of the face. If you notice, which one's bigger, the left one or the right one? The size of the face. The right one's bigger. Does anyone know why the right one's bigger than the left one? Based off the width, yes. But what gave us the width of our faces? Thank you, Isaac. Yes, the eyes. So the eyes from my third period drawing are bigger or wider than first period. Therefore, the face has to be wider because it's proportional. Yes, it's bigger, but it doesn't mean that it's wrong. It just means that it's a bigger head because proportions are bigger on this one. So keep that in mind, right? So if you drew your person's eyes a little bigger, then your faces will be bigger, right? Okay, so the ears. We have this shape. Remember, the top of the ear lines up typically with the top of the eye, and the bottom of the ear lines up with the bottom of the nose, right? And so those are some good indicators. And just to kind of reiterate that, if you look at his ears, right, top of his eye, bottom of the nose, lines up. So whenever you make a person's ears or draw a person's ears, don't draw them too small, right? Okay, so the shading of this. If we look at his ear, right, typically it's darker up here because of the crease or the curve. So we're going to just slightly shade in here. Oh, and you know what? I'm gonna erase the line going through the face because we no longer need that horizontal line. All right, so we're just shading. I'm gonna zoom in. Shading this part of the ear. And then it gets a little lighter. And don't worry, we will shade this part of the ear once we are done with the inside. So I'm going to just make it a little lighter as we go to the center of the ear. Okay. And then it gets a little darker closer to this little bump that we did last class, that we drew. And if you look at this reference that I'm using with the photograph, it almost just looks like shapes, random shapes of dark and light areas, right? That's what we're shading, or that's what we're doing. I'm just looking at the different light and dark areas and then just putting in those values and shading it in, right? And then as a whole, then they become the inside of the ear. I'm going to shade a little bit more over here. All right. And you're going to do the same thing for the other ear or the other side. Start by shading again at the top up here. And then get a little lighter towards the hump there. Online people, if you were absent last class on Tuesday, remember that I record everything that we do together, and that is on the Canvas agenda page. I put 4 videos. One is the set of eyes, the nose is the second one. The third one is the mouth, and the fourth one is drawing the shape of the ears and the shape of the face. And then on Friday, tomorrow, I'm just going to upload a picture of this that we did together into Canvas. And I'll go over that towards the end of the class or once we're done with the face. Okay. All right, so I shaded the inside of the ears. I left this space where that little bump is at empty for now. Okay. And so now I'm ready to shade the folded crease on the top over there. So it's lighter. It should be lighter than what we just shaded. Okay, and then same thing with the earlobe, just lighter. And you do the same thing on the other ear. And I'm just going to make this part a little darker so it's not the same as the other rest of the ear. Think of the ears as just kind of blobs. If you look at this one here, right? And this is where you need to trust your eyes. And if you see it, you draw it. If you don't see it, don't make it up. In this case, we're going to make our ears kind of be symmetrical or look symmetrical in terms of like the shading. So we're going to shade them the same. Now, on your actual person, their ears might look slightly different, right? So the shading will be slightly different, just like you see here. This one on the left is a little darker than the one on the right. So just keep that in mind. All right. And then now I'm going to erase that center line going through the center of the face. And then down here where the chin is at, we no longer need that line. One thing I forgot with the lips, or a couple things we're going to start continuing to add. All right, so the ears, pretty good for now. We're going to leave them as is. Now I'm going to start to add little details around the face. Let me start a new video.